Past lives and reincarnation. Most people dismiss these ideas as complete fantasy, but what happens when someone under hypnosis reveals historical details so numerous and precise that they change history? That's exactly what we're going to explore today. She was born in the 16th century and lived under the watchful eye of the Spanish Inquisition, accused of heresy, imprisoned, and erased from history. But centuries later, Antonia spoke again. From beyond the grave, she told her story through the voice of a modern average woman from Chicago who had never set foot in Spain. It's referred to as the Case of Antonia, and this is one of the most compelling cases of past life regression ever recorded. A case so detailed, so historically precise, that skeptics struggle to explain it away. And today, we're sharing this incredible story of hypnosis, memory, history, and many lives. Who was Antonia? And could this be real proof of reincarnation? If you love exploring stories where mystery, science, hypnosis, and the unexplained collide, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We've got some mind-expanding cases ahead, and you won't want to miss them. All right, back to the story. In the mid-1970s, Laurel Dilmen was an ordinary woman, a schoolteacher from Chicago, living a normal life. She had never been to Spain, never studied Spanish history, and certainly never had dreams of being burned at the stake by the Inquisition. Then one day, during a routine hypnosis session, something incredible happened. Laurel's voice changed. She began speaking in a distinct accent, her demeanor shifting into someone foreign. She spoke of places she had never been, customs she never learned, and she called herself by another name, Antonia Michaela Maria Ruiz de Prado. Over the course of 44 hypnotic regressions, Laurel shared a dazzling amount of detail about this other life. Antonia was born in 1555 on the island of Hispaniola, the Spanish stronghold in the New World. Her mother was German, her father a Spanish officer. But tragedy struck early. Her mother died, and Antonia was sent to live in Germany with her uncle Karl, a former Catholic priest turned liberal-minded scholar. For years, Antonia lived a life of books, philosophy, and devotion. But fate had other plans. When her uncle passed away, Antonia set out on a perilous journey, returning to Spain to reunite with her father in the town of Cuenca. But what she found there was not a homecoming. Her father was dead, her inheritance gone, and her only option, to run his struggling inn and try to survive alone in a land where women had few rights. But there was another challenge, something far worse. What Antonia didn't know was that her father had been friends with a high-ranking member of the Spanish Inquisition, a man who had been keeping an eye on her and her rare beauty since she arrived. And when he finally summoned her for questioning regarding her free-thinking education and her loyalty to the church, she never imagined what might happen. Under hypnosis, Laurel described the suffocating darkness of Antonia's prison cell, the searing pain of interrogations, and the moment of ultimate betrayal, when she realized the Inquisitor watching her so closely was not just interested in her soul, but in something far more personal. Most past life regressions produce vague impressions, disconnected memories, or highly generic descriptions, but not this one. Antonia's memories weren't just emotional or symbolic, they were precise. She gave names, dates, street layouts, customs, and legal codes from 16th century Spain. Many of these details were so obscure that even professional historians had difficulty verifying them. How many details are we talking about? In total, over 100 specific historical references were made over 44 hypnotic sessions. Many were facts that could be found in books, but at least 30 were so obscure they had to be verified in rare, untranslated Spanish texts in city archives. Antonia described the publication date of an edict of faith on the island of Hispaniola. She listed the names of priests executed in England in 1581. She correctly detailed the contents of the Spanish Index of Prohibited Books, a list that changed from year to year. Even Spanish shipping laws and types of vessels used in the Atlantic and Mediterranean, details far beyond the knowledge of an average American schoolteacher, were mentioned with eerie accuracy. Skeptical but intrigued, her hypnotherapist, Linda Tarazzi, decided to test Antonia's claims. The lengths she went to in order to verify this case were extraordinary. Linda spent years cross-referencing history books, traveling to university archives, to locations recalled in Europe and Africa, and consulting experts in 16th century history. Many of Antonia's claims weren't in English language sources at all, requiring Tarazzi to comb through Spanish municipal and church records. But perhaps the most shocking part? There were moments when Antonia's descriptions directly contradicted known history, only to be later proven correct. At least twice, Antonia's memories corrected errors in mainstream historical accounts. The first involved Cuenca's Inquisition tribunal. Official Spanish records claim that during Antonia's time, Cuenca always had 3 inquisitors. But in trance, Antonia insisted there were only 2. Tarazzi searched through Spanish archives, and what did she find? Records proving that for 4 years, 1584 to 1588, Cuenca did in fact have only 2 inquisitors. The second involved a mysterious college in Cuenca that Antonia spoke about. Tarazzi scoured travel books, encyclopedias, and historical registries. No reference to a college existed. Even the city archivist in Cuenca had never heard of one. But Antonia refused to back down. She claimed professors and students from the college frequently gathered at her father's inn. Then, Tarazzi made a breakthrough. On the recommendation of a Spanish historian, she found an obscure 7-volume Spanish text written in the 1800s. In Volume 2, buried among thousands of pages of historical records, was a mention of a college in Cuenca, founded in the mid-1500s, exactly when Antonia said it existed. These discoveries weren't just lucky guesses. They were specific, verifiable, and they challenged the belief that past life memories are just imagination. So, after all of this, after 44 hypnosis sessions, 100 confirmed historical details, including discoveries that corrected history, we come to the big question: what actually happened here? Is this real evidence of past life memories, or is there another explanation? One of the first explanations skeptics bring up is cryptomnesia, also known as hidden memory. The idea is that at some point in her life, Laurel encountered an obscure historical book, maybe even a historical novel, and forgot that she read it. Then, under hypnosis, those details resurfaced, but she mistakenly believed they were her own past life memories. Hidden memory is a solid theory. However, there was a not-so-little problem. No one could find a book that contained all these details. And believe me, they tried. Even more baffling, some of Antonia's memories contradicted published history, but later turned out to be correct. If this were cryptomnesia, how did Laurel know facts that historians hadn't even verified yet? Perhaps Laurel was just an imaginative person, someone who crafted an elaborate historical fantasy while under hypnosis. And yet, the sheer depth of specificity of her knowledge makes this hard to accept. The language, the customs, the minute legal distinctions, these weren't general historical themes. They were hyper-specific details, many of which required years of research to verify. Also, most people who invent past lives create dramatic, self-glorifying stories. They were kings, warriors, or famous figures. But Antonia? She was an innkeeper, struggling under the rule of the Spanish Inquisition. Her life was realistic, not glamorous. Another explanation comes from parapsychology, living agent psi. The idea that Laurel wasn't remembering a past life, she was psychically accessing historical information from the collective unconscious, or the Akashic records. Could her subconscious mind have tuned into history itself, pulling detailed facts from an unknown source? Some researchers argue that this could explain why she knew things no historian had published. But if so, why Antonia? Why this one life, this level of precision? And why through hypnosis? At some point, we have to entertain the idea that alternative explanations become even more improbable than something like an actual past life regression. In the end, Linda, Laurel's hypnotist, worked with Laurel to resolve these vivid memories of her past life and move on with her current life. But how to resolve this incredible account? We're left with three choices. Cryptomnesia? No known book contained all of these details. Fabrication. The sheer number of verified historical facts makes that unlikely. Psychic access. Maybe, but why this one life? Which leaves us with reincarnation. Did Antonia really live, love, and suffer under the Spanish Inquisition only to be remembered centuries later? Ultimately, the answer isn't up to me, it's up to you. What do you think? I'd love to hear your perspectives, and if you have a similar experience with past life regression, please do share in the comments below. And if you'd like to learn more about the Case of Antonia, I highly recommend Linda Tarazi's great book, Under the Inquisition. There's so many more details than I could have ever hoped to cover here. What if your own past lives are just waiting to be discovered? My name's Sol, and I'm a certified past life regression hypnotherapist at Power of Gnosis. I help people unlock their hidden memories and find more meaning in their current lives. If you're curious about your deep past, go to powerofgnosis.com now to start your journey today. And if you enjoyed this story, please like this video, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell, as we'll have more amazing cases coming really soon. Thanks for being here, and safe journeys.